Putin dismisses top admiral for insubordination over refusal to deploy troops to Ukraine. According to a report by RadarOnline.com, Russian President Vladimir Putin fired one of his top admirals for insubordination after the admiral refused to send Russian sailors to fight in Ukraine. Russian Pacific Fleet Commander Admiral Sergei Avakiants, age 66, was relieved of his duties in the midst of nuclear bomber wargames. The directives originated in the Kremlin. The Volya and Brief Telegram channel claims that Avakiants tried to keep his men from being deployed so that they wouldn't have to serve as cannon fodder. The senior admiral ignored or avoided numerous orders to deploy his troops to the Ukraine conflict. Avakiants, when cornered, allegedly sent his worst-behaved and least reliable men to the war-torn country. According to a member of the Russian military's general staff, the leader vowed not to allow the fleet to be destroyed when speaking with Admiral Nikolai Yevmenov. His sailors, trained officers, well-coordinated crews, would not be torn apart, the source said via Telegram. As reported on the military channel Moscow Calling, 31 armored vehicles of the 155th Separate Guards Marine Brigade from the Russian Pacific Fleet were destroyed during an assault on Vuhledar. Avakian's discontent grew as Russia suffered heavy losses in the prolonged conflict with Ukraine, as evidenced by a letter written by the 155th Brigade Marines complaining about the meat grinder tactics of Putin's commanders used in Ukraine, which resulted in 300 men killed, wounded, and missing, just 4 days into the battle. Reportedly, he took issue with sending infantry formations from among the sailors of warships, submarines, and auxiliary vessels to Ukraine. This was the final straw, and Mad Vlad sent the military leader on holiday, before demoting him to a low-level diplomatic position in Moscow. One of Russia's most esteemed commanders was suddenly removed from his post, and officials gave a variety of conflicting explanations. Nonetheless, reports indicate that it was because of the unsatisfactory state of the preparation of the fleet, and numerous mistakes of the command. In recent months, in response to the global superpower's lackluster attempt to conquer Ukraine, Putin has been reorganizing the military's chain of command. On February 24, 2022, Russian troops first crossed into Ukrainian territory. Nikolai Patrushev, Putin's chief national security advisor, predicted the war would last no more than a few weeks and that Russian forces would quickly capture Kyiv. The war has been going on for over a year now, and there are no signs of it ending. Putin's paranoia has increased to the point where he has removed the minimum age requirement for enlisting new soldiers. Accidental bombing of Russian citizens on the way to Ukraine by a fighter jet piloted by Vladimir Putin. Cash-strapped Russia's biggest nuclear-powered battleship is being scrapped by Putin. Vladimir Putin's purported sabotage mission to the United Kingdom's power grid has been met with reports of the Russian spy ship, Peter the Great, and its mysterious armed guards.